Hey, welcome, y'all. Welcome. That part talk show right here on Vegas Type Media Guerrilla Cross. Thirsty Thursdays, thoughtful Thursdays, whatever y'all want to call it. That part talk show Thursdays, right? We're gonna keep it rocking. There's no really new news right now, so I had to bring on somebody spunky and funky and ready to give you guys a great story today. So, with no further ado, Miss Joy. What's up, girl?
Hi, everyone.
I haven't even seen you in forever, so this is great. And I don't really know a lot about your past, so this is even more like I'm ready to learn. I'm like, I almost brought my notebook today. How you feeling?
I feel really good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How are you enjoying this bipolar weather?
Right? It's like not too hot, but had rain yesterday.
Yeah. It's been all over the place. It's like, I don't know if we're going to have a summer or winter or spring. It's like roll the dice.
Right. We have to remain fluid.
Right. Is it affecting any of your gigs?
No. Just gotta keep on trucking and, drink water and make sure that you just stay mindful of whatever weather. At least it's not like too cold.
Right.
So I feel like we're right in the middle right now before it gets super hot.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that, like, as a DJ, sometimes you have to, like, be aware of, like, prepare for your gigs. It's not like it just roll out of bed and go play some music and then come back and go back to sleep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Sometimes you have to actually prepare your body for what you're about to play at your environments.
Yeah, I literally have a chart that says all the different venues and like the temperature. Well, not the temperature, but like extremely cold or like cold, mild, because when I get to different venues, it's just like if it gets too chilly, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in some of those too. Those are the worst because my bones are so small. Like my bones hurt.
Yeah.
So Vegas is zone, right? You're from Vegas?
I would say I'm a super local. I've been here since 2001.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've been here since damn near the beginning.
Yeah.
So how's it been? What's your experience in the DJ world out here?
It's been really fun. I feel like Vegas has treated me really well. And there's so many opportunities here. And I feel like I operate from abundance.
Yeah, definitely.
So it feels really good to have long-lasting professional and personal relationships with people that are not only my colleagues, but they're my friends.
Right.
So it's great to see people grow in a city that's always elevating. So I feel the same. I feel like I'm elevating as well.
Definitely. I mean, you're doing like top tier gigs, like where you have thousands of people around you. You're traveling to Hawaii. Girl, you is doing it. Take us on the road of how you got to that point and even how you even got started DJing.
Sure. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Well, I started when I went to, as a young person, my mom would always say, if your sister goes out, like you have to go out with her. So I was exposed to like DJs and nightlife at a really young age. Like I was only like, I want to say like 12, 13 and going to like college parties, and I wasn't really into boys or anything. So I would always watch the DJs and watch people dance. And that was like more of my forte. And throughout the years, just went to my first actual like rave and fell in love with like break beats and drum and bass. And when I moved out here in 2001, freshly 21, 22 years old, I knew that I wanted to become a full-time DJ, so I felt like Vegas would be a really great fit, which it was really nice back then. It wasn't as, I would say, like corporate.
Right.
But when the corporate conglomerates like came and took over the nightlife scene, it allowed me to grow more into what I want to see myself in my music career, like more sophisticated, more elegant, not so much. I was such a tomboy before. So I pretty much grew up as a young woman here DJing
Nice.
and
Blossomed.
blossom. Yeah. While still trying to navigate like what it means just to even be an artist
Right.
here. And I have really great representation. So I've been working with my same agent since 2004.
Nice.
And so that's how I'm able to travel and do like large scale gigs with like corporate groups, like traveling to Hawaii. I've gone overseas, and it's been a lot of fun.
So far, what's your most memorable gig?
Probably when I played at Allegiant Stadium.
Nice.
That was really fun just because, you know, as a local, I've seen that thing being built
right.
for so many years, and I just had my heart set on it. So once I performed there, I was like, that's pretty memorable. Like as far as like sonically to be in such a huge space, that's like it's built just gorgeously.
Yeah, that's crazy. I still haven't been in that stadium.
Yeah.
What was the event that you did for that?
It was for a company corporate event.
Nice.
I dressed up as DJ Light Princess, which is my alter ego. I have these like beautiful LED wings, and yeah, it's just fun. They were really excited to have me.
Yeah, that looks so cool. Like you guys have to go check out her Instagram and see these pictures and the videos too. They look really cool. Very futuristic too.
Yeah, very futuristic for sure.
I loved it. Okay, what is your most memorable? What is the gig you will probably like remember for a bad reason?
For a bad reason. Ooh, okay. Well, I feel like the reason why the Allegiant Stadium was so memorable was because it wasn't what I had expected when I got there.
It was your fault.
The CDJs wasn't updated, so Serato wouldn't work. And so the firmware, like I definitely learned how to update the firmware, and I make sure that I keep it on a USB stick just in case I travel and, you know, the HID mode is not available. And that one was so memorable because they're like, all right, like we need you to have these cue points when, you know, we do like the public speaking and awards and stuff. So the guy that was helping me, he was like, if you can pull this off of USB, I would be really impressed. And I was like, watch me do it right now.
Watch me do
But my
it.
heart was like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I remember my agent was like, Joy, don't panic. You don't have time to go get your controller.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
adaptability.
Yeah, it's really important. And I feel like having so many years as a veteran, starting off with vinyl, and I know that you play vinyl as well.
Man, I haven't touched vinyl in so long.
But, you know, it's like riding a bike.
Oh, yeah, so. Definitely. I've been wanting to get some and just mess around with them at home.
Yeah.
But I can't do anything at home except chill.
Hey,
I got to find some kind of studio. I'm going to come mess with your turntables, okay? And you see me scratching in here. He's like, don't touch mine. Yeah.
No, you can. I'm just, there's some old school Newmarks. I don't have anything good.
Nothing great.
Nothing good.
It might be good to get back on those like training wheels, right?
Yeah. It's so fun. And like, I think that with so much new technology going on, it really like heightens your senses on like getting down to the nitty gritty of like just being really adaptable throughout the years. Like, you know, from starting with just bringing my vinyl records to gigs, like 5 crates of records, to just like USB stick is what I played on yesterday.
It's crazy, huh? The evolution of like the equipment side of DJing.
Yes.
Has just like next thing we know, everyone's gonna be DJing off their phones or something.
Yeah. And
if they don't already.
I feel like they do already. So
the premixes. There was something else to say about vinyl. Oh yeah, I just saw something about Jazzy Jeff where he recently did a random gig and they had vinyl and he was like, he's like, I probably should have brushed up on it before because it was so like it felt so new to him because of all the digital world nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. You never like these classic DJs, you know, you can be DJing since the beginning of DJing, you know what I mean? And you still need that refresher because you have to be so relevant.
I agree. I definitely will practice just a little bit or just at least know in my crate when I play at Super Frico at the Cosmopolitan. I get to play all vinyl, and it's so fun because you get these like endorphins, like looking through vinyl and just feeling it and like finding your flow. Like I definitely get a natural high.
Yeah, I feel like you probably like get lost in the world in there, because you actually have to be like, even more engaged than you would have to be if it was just like on a controller or CDJs.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of like, all right, cool, I do this. It is what it is. I can look around a little bit. But when you're like vinyl, you're like in it. Like,
oh yeah. You can't press loop.
Right.
Like you can't be like, oh, I need to, make sure that has an 8-bar, and like when it's gone, it's gone.
That's crazy. So speaking of staying relevant, you decided to start producing your own music, girl.
Yay.
When did that happen?
It's always been a dream of mine, and I first started producing music when I was 18. I used this program called Acid Pro.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
it was like really
school.
easy to like like Acid Pro, and then I jumped on Reason, which was a lot harder to work with. I was really into like beat machines, and got like an MPC 2500.
Nice.
And just really love that whole aesthetic of like producing music. But I didn't get really more serious into it until I took a school called Cosmic Academy. I took it in 2019, and then the next year I took, during parts of COVID, I took a Tour Room Academy, and in 2020, and then I've been having like a tutor for the past year and 3 months now, like just at it like consistently. So it feels really good to actually make music that I feel like is playable, because I don't want to die with the music just inside me,
Right.
Like
definitely.
And it's kind of nerve-wracking when you hear your music, or when you are trying to like shop your music to different labels and stuff. So right now I'm just focused on building quality tracks and having genuine relationships with labels, so I can just grow as an artist instead of feeling more like a number, like my career is going too fast. Like I want to enjoy all of it.
Yeah, definitely. So do you feel like you're going to transition more into the artistry of it? Or like, are you looking to transition into that and kind of get away from DJing, or do you think you'll DJ forever?
I feel like it goes hand in hand. You see DJs that are performing, like, I don't know what their age group is, but like Carl Cox and Bob Sinclair, and these like classic electronic music producers that I grew up listening to. They're all our elders, and I think it's really cool that in electronic music, I feel like it's not really about the age or aesthetics. It's more about the energy that you put behind your music. So I would hope that I like don't focus too much on vanity, and just focus more on like how many years I'm clocking in doing it, because I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think recently I had a conversation with somebody about that too. It's like when you have that passion for something, you can transcend through time. You know what I mean? It's not something that you feel like you have to wake up and do every day. You know what I mean? So it's not a job mindset. You're like, it comes easy because this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
That's good. That's great. So let's hear some of your songs so we can hear what this girl produced. And these all songs are out, right? Available?
Yes.
On all platforms? Correct. Under DJ Miss Joy? Oh, just Miss Joy? Okay, cool. So the first one we got is Feel It. Listen to this one. Make sure I get back in my shot. Sorry, I moved. Kwang gonna get mad. Cock the whip. Hey, so if you feeling it, go on over and stream that. All DJs, calling all DJs, put that in your set, you know. So what inspired you to do that one?
Well, that has like more of a two-room feel, and two-room is based out of the UK, so a lot of their stuff to me has like just like the classic soulful vocals that are like very strong. A few of my tracks have that kind of feel, and yeah, it's more of a two-room vibe for me.
Nice.
But the US version of what I think two-room is. Their sound is very unique and different.
Nice. So each of these is like different sounds, right? Like different vibes?
I would say, yeah.
Because I heard some of them feel a little bit like there's a disco-ish one in there that feels very disco-ish.
Yeah, that's more of my two-room vibe is influence.
That's dope. I like that.
Thank
I like
you.
that. So what have you through this, you know, we know that, you know, through the evolution of DJing, the equipment has changed drastically. But what about your side of things as far as like being a woman in the industry, especially out here in Vegas?
Yeah.
How has that been for you on more of on a personal side of the evolution?
That's a really good question. I get asked that quite a bit, and I like that I'm being asked by a female because I feel like it can go any which way if it's asked by a man, you know? So my perspective on that is that if I just like continue to work hard at my craft and I show up to a gig where if someone tends to particularly judge me by the way I look, my more soft-spoken personality or like the way I carry myself, that it doesn't really matter as long as my client is happy and that I do my job with a lot of care and attention. So throughout the years, I feel like Vegas will, actually around the world too, that I could potentially perceive as like some sort of sex object, when people want a certain type of promotion that fits the vibe of like the look of their party. And I've actually turned down gigs, saying like I will not open for so and so because of what the promotion looks like, and I want to be treated as a headliner. And if I don't have that opportunity, there's more than 100 opportunities that will show up, and I really think that hyper focusing on yourself and like how you want to carry yourself through this world beyond just your profession is very important. So seeing how things has changed, I think that what's relevant is that you provide the music for the venue. You work hard at your promotion, making sure if my promotion may not be aligned with what they're looking for, like I said, there's more than 100 doors that will open that will allow me to just be myself.
Definitely. And that's good advice, because a lot of people, there's that saying, not all business is good business. And a lot of people think like you have to do anything and everything just to get to a certain level. When you did it more where it was like, no, I'm going to make my quality based on the gigs that I'm actually doing. Yeah. And I choose to do, you know what I mean? So that's cool to be able to see that you chose your own path. Like, no, from the get-go, I'm not doing these types, and this is the way my brand is going to be. And that's great because it's shown in the quality of gigs that you do get even now, you know what I mean? So kudos to you. If y'all can't learn that. Yeah, if y'all can't learn from that, you know what I mean? You don't have to do the things that they want you to do. You don't have to be relevant. You don't have to take those pics. You don't have to. Now, if that's you, by all means, but you don't have to do that. So
I want to just, share just, being a young person in this town and understanding what like beauty looks like. My brand was perceived on different flyers as beautiful and, sexy or whatever, Miss Joy. And it wasn't until 2010 where I just had a better understanding of what was being put out there, because a lot of times when you're being playful and just enjoying, to me, my youth, I didn't think too much about what I was being perceived and looked at. Learning about different groups in town where they talk about human trafficking awareness and how sex, sells in a different way, how it's advertised everywhere. It really made me feel that if I can just be pure in the idea that like I want to show up just as I am, not like what you want me to be, then that's all that matters. Then I can sustain this career that can be really demanding, not only on your sleep schedule, your body, your eating, your health, or even like social anxiety, which I deal a lot with, because I like to have more one-on-one conversations and in a really loud room full of things that are mixed with like alcohol, drugs, or whatever intentions people have, when they go to parties. I like more of the one-on-one feel, but if I can just work on my confidence, and that, starts with the parents, the home, and, how you're raised and what's really truly important to you, because what we see on advertisements and TV, those are just bits and pieces of what a real person is, right? So exactly. I would say however you want to show up, if you want to be very flamboyant or a little bit more reserved, that let your music speak.
Yeah, your actual job. This is the percentage of what I'm bringing, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times it's reverse. Sometimes you're bringing a lot here. What is it? You're over promising and under delivering.
Yeah. And the clients that I work for now, which I'm so grateful for, they're like my top tier paying clients that ask for me every year, and they send me to really nice exotic places. It's such a thing that sex appeal is not what they want, you know. And when I develop more of my brand in the house scene, I feel like I can still take what I've learned in a more like corporate setting and translate it to anywhere, just because I know I feel confident with myself.
Yeah, definitely. And that takes a lot to grow in this industry as a woman in Vegas in your 20s. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of, a lot. What do you think your foundation is that kept you grounded that whole time?
I'm pretty sure it's my family upbringing. Being a second generation Lao American, my parents, came as refugees. So a lot of my core values are based around Buddhism and around just like the family values of my mom's ancestors. So my parents, basically, my mom lived and grew up in the jungle and then came to America during the Vietnam War when Laos was being heavily bombed. During that time, for a course of 9 years, we came as refugees. So I was the first to be born here. And so I don't ever forget like where my parents come from. And I always said that I don't want to just be a DJ, like American DJ, even though I am American, obviously. But what I mean by that is like I want to serve my community, my family, my culture, and give back in whatever capacity, and not forget those roots, because it could be watered down in a very pop culture society. And I think that if I just follow like my heart and just be who I am and take those core values, it will translate to all the work that I love to do already.
Right. Man, that's great. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're making all your ancestors very proud.
Thank you.
So you're doing them right. You know what I mean? So with that being said, let's go on to the next song, Good to Go. Do you want to introduce it? Do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, Good to Go is the name of my EP. And this vibe is just more of a chill, like tech house. I would say it's more of an opener, or like more like a chill party vibe. Not peak time, but I think that you'll like it.
Let's go. Good to Go.
Let me see you my flow, cause I'm good to go. Feeling my flow, cause I'm good to go.
Run it, take it, back, baby.
Feeling my flow, 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 cause I'm good to go.
Rock it.
Vibe check. Hey, that's my old school raise the roof. Hey, the roof is on fire.
I need you as my hype person.
I know, right? Look, I'm getting too old for all that. I try to do the least amount of dancing as possible. Even on Fremont, I feel like, sheesh, one day a week sometimes is tiring.
Yeah.
My body's not the same anymore. And I work out a lot though, but so it's just, I can't do it all. Dancing is like jumping up and down, you know?
Oh yeah, it
It's
takes
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
I stopped wearing heels to work. Like, no, I'm just gonna rock sneakers, you know? I could be, I'm gonna give me some those therapeutic sneakers?
Orthopedic ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Orthopedic.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna need some of those.
You'll make it look good too.
Hey, I'm
sure
gonna
you
need to. I'm gonna have to, because you know these knees and this back is feeling it. I'd be standing for 8 hours. I did a gig last week. It was 3 days back to back, 8 hours each one. Oh my God, my body was hurting.
Yes.
You can feel it in your back.
Yeah.
So, speaking of working too much, you work a lot, girl.
Yeah.
You're just talking about clocking in 33 plus hours. That's like full-time job.
I know.
That's crazy. And people don't realize you're getting paid. You sugar mama over here. Y'all better watch it.
I don't know about sugar mama part, but
She's like sweet and low, maybe. So being so busy, where are you at? Where can people find you? Where can they pull up on you?
yeah. So I've been working with Tao Group since they came into town. So I want to say 2005, and they have so many awesome venues. And I work at Tao, Beauty and Essex, Hakkasan, inside the restaurant. I do mostly their lounges. I like going home at midnight.
Right.
Cathedral just opened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also work for Wish You a Hair Group. which is Cassie Beach House.
Right.
And they just opened a Rouge room in, I hope I'm saying that right, at the Red Rock. And they have a pool there. And I work with Ultra DJs for STK. This one, they just told us that we're not doing Mas Por Favor anymore, which I'm like, okay, I don't have to work on Mondays. I have one day off dedicated. And definitely shout out like Sarah from S.3 Entertainment for Stadium Swim. And I'm going to be booked for her EDM night
Nice.
in September on Fremont Street.
Nice.
With you all.
Oh, you
Yeah.
get to come to Fremont.
Yeah, I'm
Uh-oh.
excited about that.
That's cool. Have you ever performed on Fremont out here?
It will be my first time.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm really
You know,
excited.
I am so happy that, she rode that wave, but that they finally opened up the doors for female DJs, or just really it's female DJs, because they're not really bringing on a lot of guys on Fremont these days. But that the fact that they're opening it up more to DJs instead of just the bands.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh,
Sarah has
man.
something really great going on. You know, she really cares about her work. She's super passionate,
Yeah.
and she works at a very high level. She clocks in more hours than us
Right.
both
Combined.
combined. So, give it up to her like strong females out there that are really our peers and, people that we can look up to. And that's why I love working with her so much. It's not so much, obviously we want to get paid fairly, but for me, like having a really good relationship with someone that you work with is way more valuable than being treated like a number, or like not being seen as the talent that you are,
Yeah.
I
I can definitely relate to that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of different agencies, once again, big shout out to Sarah. She's the reason why we know each other. Speaking of agencies, what kind of advice as far as agencies go could you give to other DJs? Because I know it used to be in the past where you had to be with a DJ to be anywhere, but they're kind of getting a little bit more loose with that. So for DJs who kind of want to get on the different scenes, or more high caliber scenes, not your caliber, but a little higher. What could you say for the agencies? Because I have multiple different agencies, and some people be like, oh, you spread yourself too much. You know what I mean? So what's your take on that?
Yeah. Well, I just like to mention that, like, I feel like as long as we're doing the work that serves us, that we're all doing the same job.
Right.
Whether if I'm doing the gig at Allegiant Stadium, or at a private, more smaller event, or someone's backyard or something, I'm still providing and serving this piece of my art that I've worked a really long time for. So I like to see all of our work as like being on equal planes. But if someone wants to activate more venues within their repertoire, I would just say to make sure you have a really good press kit, image, to look at their website to see what kind of image that they're looking for. A lot of times you can get a look and feel of what kind of talent that they want, and maybe provide different looks, professional photos, professional bios. Make sure you have your music up and available to stream so that they can hear you play. Of course, looks are not just everything. I would hope that they don't just book you on looks, although I've seen
Yeah. That's a
some
whole
things,
nother.
or like, like you see like stars, like movie stars or something, that you're like, oh, like how long have they been DJing,
Mm-hmm.
So there's like different types of, I guess, gimmicks or whatnot, but I would say reach out to all of them and just have a feel on who you think is putting you at the top of, like putting you at the top, and dedicate your time to them. Because when I moved here, I worked with a lot of different companies, and there were times where I was on their website, but haven't been booked in like over a year. And so my agent was like, well, if you're not being booked with them for, they shouldn't have the value of putting you up there as your talent, which totally
Right.
makes sense,
Right.
But like having that conversation can be really hard. being eloquent with like your words and being like, I'm headed in a different direction and I'm trying to elevate, because there's a time where you have to think about like what the long haul is, because being stagnant can be really easy when you just love to be there, right? So you're just like, I'm just happy to be here,
Right.
But yeah, it's important that if you continue to do the work to grow and update your promo stuff.
Yeah. Do you prefer agency stuff? Do you do work independently?
I think I do work independently. My relationship with Tao Group is independent,
Oh, okay.
since they don't have agencies.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like
Gotcha.
direct. I would say both. I treat the person as like how they're like, what are they giving me? How are they representing me?
Right.
Are they representing me to the fullest, or are they just wanting the cheapest rate?
Gotcha.
And that's hard, especially if you want to get booked a lot. Which to me, like, I think that if my calendar is full and if I have the energy to do 25 gigs in a month, which seems to be my average, then it's not always about the pay. It's like at the very end, like, what am I taking home, like at the end of my year,
Right.
So I just love to do the work, and I recommend anyone to reach out to all of them.
Nice. There you go. Agency, independent, doesn't matter. Do it, but you got to reach out to. There's so many out there too now. Like, there's so many. So pick and choose which ones you want to do. Get on board, hit them up. All it does is take a conversation. So speaking of going higher, let's go ahead and play. Let's do half of higher, because I want to play underground too. So we'll do half of higher. You want to talk about this one? Bring it in?
Yeah, higher is influenced by True Room again, since I had taken their class for 4 months, and our teacher was very specific about like vocals, so you'll hear a lot of rich, soulful vocals.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to ask if there was a sample, but it's just like an already recorded sample. It's not from a song, right?
I am currently just getting samples off of Splice.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is in a place where you can just download music that you don't have to pay for royalties.
Right,
You
right.
just have a subscription.
This sounds like it was in an old school song.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Thank
let's
you.
go. Hiya. Let's do it. part of that one. Jamming in there. Hey, higher, higher. Hitting those notes. The acoustics. I like that song. It's so disco-y and
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that one?
Just like positive energy, I want to make positive music and
I like that one.
find samples that resonate with how I'm feeling.
Nice. I like it so far. So far, so good. I'm loving them.
Thank you.
So real
much.
quick before we play the last one and get up out of here, because time just flew by. What's next for Miss Joy? What can we expect? What can we be excited to see? New
Yeah.
music, new venues.
I have a new record that's coming out in a couple of weeks. Actually, no, in a week.
Ooh.
On the 16th, I believe. And it's called What to Do. It's a collab with On Deck, and it's going to be on Night Moves label. And it will be available on all platforms next week.
Nice. So put it in your calendars, y'all. Put it in your calendars. New music, Miss Joy.
Music.
And in the DJ world, what are some bucket list gigs you're...
Yes. So my agent and I, I'm so lucky. I have a team that's dedicated to working towards my professional growth, whether if it's like creating content or like having someone on the end and making emails and calls and just representing me is like really amazing. We are trying to work towards getting more into festivals and traveling and touring as an artist.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's going to
yeah.
be so fun.
I'm
Do you
really
already have in
excited.
mind like production?
Yeah, I have in mind. I'm pretty sure I probably will do either DJ Light Princess
Yeah.
and different like festival electronic music settings, or just travel as Miss Joy. But the important thing is putting out more content that feels a good quality and chopping my music. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure like people hear my sound and know what to expect, because as a DJ for so long and traveling, there's only so much I can do within that moment, but I'm still playing other people's music, which is so fun. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like I would ever get away from that. And I love all genres. So I'm kind of at this point where I'm talking to other producers who made that big leap, but I can't imagine life without all the colors of music,
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine just doing one thing,
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way. I don't think I could pick.
it's hard.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't focus on one thing.
You're right. Being like a dancer and just loving music and being introduced to so many different scenes. But for production wise, I'm focusing on tech house, and
Nice.
I'd like to do tours and festivals next week or next month.
Nice.
Yes, next week and next month.
Next week,
but-
and next month.
Focus on for the next year and moving forward. It's gonna be harder, but I feel like it's all gonna lead me back to Vegas, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
definitely.
playing more of the main rooms.
Yeah, and as yourself, right? Not just necessarily.
not the opener, not
Right.
the closer, like as Miss Joy.
Right. That's dope. Well, let's manifest it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Let's give you all that good
Yeah.
energy for it. I hope we see you on headlines. You know what I mean? You're already there. You know what I mean? You already got
Thank
your foot in the
you.
door, so it should be easy peasy for you. You're good.
Thank you so much.
So do you want to give out any shout outs before we leave?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's taken the time to listen to this amazing podcast.
Yay.
Thank you to your wonderful team here that builds really amazing content, and for you just like taking your time out of your already busy schedule and being creative and like being so fluid with so many different artists and working with different genres. I was really surprised to be on your show. So thank you so much.
Of course, I had to put you on. Come on
Yeah.
now. That was nothing. I had a long list of people before I started the show, so I'm just, trying to get them in when I can. So, and I know you're busy, so thank you
Yes.
for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule. Big shout out to Vegas Hype Guerrilla for all the great engineerings, and sound effects. There you go. That's his favorite. So before we leave, let's go ahead and introduce Underground. Thank you guys so much. Thanks again, Miss Joy. Make sure y'all go stream all her music on all platforms. Check her out at all the gigs everywhere in Vegas, nationwide, and hopefully soon internationally. Make sure y'all support her music as well. And until next time, go ahead, Miss Joy. Introduce Underground.
This next track is Underground, and you can stream it on all platforms.
There you go. See ya. Adios.